How strong is Monkey D. Luffy after the 2-year time skip? From his return to Sabaody all the way to Egghead, Luffy doesn't just get stronger, he redefines where he stands in the One Piece world. Each and every arc makes a real measurable jump in how far he's come and who he can actually stand against. In my last video, a lot of you disagreed with me saying that Luffy was high warlord level before the 2-year time skip, and most of you agreed he was still below fighters like Hancock, Doflamingo, or even Jinbei. But that's exactly what makes post-time skip Luffy so crazy, because the gap between Marineford Luffy and Return to Sabaody Luffy isn't small. In fact, it's a complete rewrite of his power ceiling. So in today's video, we're gonna be scaling him properly, from Return to Sabaody all the way through Egghead, and at the end, I'll give his final canon consistent power placement for each stage. Now let's not waste any more time because I'm about to get real in depth with this one. Before we get into it, if you've been rocking with my videos, or if you're just new and like this kind of content, then be sure to like and subscribe. I drop One Piece analyses, discussions, and debates regularly, so if that's your thing, you're in the right place. Now without further ado, let's get into today's topic. Luffy's reintroduction into the story sets the tone. Before the time skip, one pacifista nearly wiped out the entire crew, and now he one-shots it casually with Haki-coded attacks. This single feat tells us everything. In 2 years, Luffy went from barely surviving against a single pacifista to casually destroying one, and he's using armament and observation Haki like it's second nature to him. He's calm, sharp, and confident with no wasted motion. He's not quite commander tier yet, but he's absolutely above any pre-time skip warlord threats like Crocodile or Moria, and even people like pre-time skip Kuma who would for sure be pressured by him. Anyways, his final scaling for Return to Sabaody is high warlord to entry commander level, which is a clear leap in power from pre-time skip high warlord Luffy. Fishman Island doesn't just introduce a new level, it confirms the one we already saw. Hody Jones, even on steroids and in his element underwater, gets completely outclassed. Luffy blitzes, overpowers, and dominates him. The fight is essentially a statement. His strength, speed, and Haki control have reached a level beyond anything seen pre-time skip. He even uses Conqueror's Haki on a large scale, knocking out 50,000 fishmen instantly, something that no one below commander tier had ever done. Fishman Island pretty much confirms that he's high warlord to entry commander level, still at the same rage as Sabaody, but now we know that he's stable at that level. Now, Punk Hazard doesn't give us a new transformation or a power-up of any kind, but it does show refinement. Against Caesar Clown, Luffy showcases sharper Haki control, better decision making, and the ability to handle complex environmental battles. He's not learning anymore, he's executing. There's no real tier jump here, but it solidifies his endurance and control over Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd under pressure. So at this stage, he scales around low commander level, because he's now fully consistent at commander tier. As for Dressrosa, that is where Luffy breaks through his first wall. Against Doflamingo, who's a fully awakened Paramecia user and a top tier warlord, Luffy finally brings out Gear 4th, Bound Man. By compressing his body with armament Haki, Luffy amplifies his striking power, speed, and durability by a massive margin. Gear 4th lets him completely dominate Doflamingo in their exchanges, even forcing him onto the defensive. And yes, the form drains stamina fast, but peak versus peak, Luffy outright overpowers a warlord who was sitting near commander level himself, which leaves Dressrosa Luffy at low to mid commander level. The baseline stays around low commander, but Gear 4th pushes him deeper into the commander class. Now Whole Cake Island is where things get serious. Luffy's battle against Katakuri isn't just another fight, it's a mastery arc. Katakuri represents the standard of a top Yonko commander with perfect observation Haki and refined combat awareness. At the start, Luffy can't even touch Katakuri, but after hours of battle, he evolves. He learns to read movement seconds ahead and matches Katakuri's precision with Gear 4th Snake Man, trading in raw power for unpredictable speed. By the end, Luffy not only matches Katakuri, he defeats him cleanly after pushing both of their limits, which pushes him into the high commander level. This is the moment he breaks into legitimate Yonko commander status. As for Wano, that is where everything changes. Wano starts with Luffy still being below Kaido, one-shot and outclassed in the first encounter, but Wano Luffy doesn't plateau plateau. In fact, he evolves mid-arc through layered power ceilings. Advanced Armament Haki allows him to damage Kaido internally through his scales. And Advanced Conqueror's Haki allows him to coat his attacks in Conqueror's Haki, which is the same ability used by the Yonkos. These upgrades alone push him into high Yonko commander ranges, but then comes Gear 5. When his Devil Fruit finally awakens, Luffy's mobility, strength, and creativity hit an entirely new plane. His attacks carry this cartoon-like freedom, but the power is very real. The fusion of Awakening plus Advanced Haki lets him not only fight Kaido evenly, but eventually defeat him. Narratively and mechanically, that's the moment Luffy crosses into true Yonko level. Baseline Luffy has permanently broken into Yonko-tier combat capability. Much like Fishman Island, Egghead is confirmation and not growth. Luffy is a Yonko and the world now treats him as one. His bounty, crew, and influence put him on the same standing as Shanks, Blackbeard, and Buggy, at least symbolically. Now feats-wise, Luffy engages with Admiral Kizaru and holds his ground, matching the Admiral's blinding speed and forcing him to take the fight seriously. He commands his crew and allies while managing a multi-faction war zone, showing both strength and leadership befitting a Yonko. This is the moment where even the world government acknowledges him as one of the defining powers of the age. So with all that being said, where exactly does post-timeskip Luffy scale? Well, as an objective observer with no skin in the game, I would say that Luffy is low Yonko level. From Return to Sabaody to Egghead, Luffy's evolution isn't a straight climb, it's a series of explosive jumps. Each arc represents a milestone in a way. Rayleigh's training made him New World ready, Gear 4th gave him commander level power, Whole Cake Island sharpened his techniques, and Wano forged him into a Yonko. And by Egghead, he's not rising through the ranks anymore, he is one of the ranks. So what do you guys think? Did Luffy truly become Yonko level at the end of Wano, or only prove it during Egghead? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in whatever I make next. Peace.